The Shelter and the Shepherd, Finding Peace in Psalms 91 and 23. Have you ever felt like the world is just moving a little too fast, and the weight on your shoulders is getting a bit too heavy to carry alone? We all hit those moments where anxiety creeps in, and we start looking for a place to just breathe. Well, today, I want to invite you to step out of that noise and into a space of absolute peace. We're diving into two of the most powerful, life-changing prayers ever written, Psalm chapter 91 and Psalm chapter 23. These aren't just ancient words on a page, they are a spiritual fortress and a gentle hand on your shoulder. Whether you're facing a personal storm or just need to recharge your soul, these verses have a way of speaking directly to the heart. So let's take a deep breath together and explore what it means to truly be protected and provided for. The Fortress of Protection, Psalm chapter 91. Think about the most secure place you can imagine. Now, realize that Psalm chapter 91 describes a protection that is even stronger than that. It starts with a beautiful promise: "He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty." That word "dwells" is so important. It's not about visiting God when things go wrong, it's about making your home in His presence. When you stay close to Him, you're under His shadow, and nothing can get to you without going through Him first. The script tells us that He is our refuge and our fortress. Imagine a massive stone castle during a storm. The wind might howl outside, but inside you are warm, safe, and completely untouched. The beauty of this prayer is how specific it gets about our fears. It mentions the terror of night and the arrow that flies by day. We all have those arrows. Maybe it's a sudden bill, a health scare, or a biting comment from someone we care about. Psalm chapter 91 reminds us that we don't have to live in fear of these things. It says He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. It's such a tender, maternal image of God. He isn't just a distant king. He's like a bird protecting its young, keeping us hidden from the reach of the enemy. When you pray this, you're declaring that your safety doesn't come from your own strength, but from the One who commands His angels to guard you in all your ways. The Gentle Provider, Psalm chapter 23. If Psalm chapter 91 is our armor, then Psalm chapter 23 is our rest. It's arguably the most famous poem ever written, and for good reason. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. Just stop for a second and let that sink in. I lack nothing. In a world that is constantly telling us we need more money, more followers, more success, this prayer tells us that with God, we already have everything we need. He makes us lie down in green pastures and leads us beside quiet waters. He knows that our souls get tired, and He is the only one who can truly refresh them. He doesn't drive us like cattle. He leads us like a shepherd who knows our names and exactly where the best grass grows. But the prayer doesn't ignore the reality of pain. It talks about walking through the valley of the shadow of death. We've all been in those valleys, those dark, lonely places where we can't see the way out. But the script changes the game right there. I will fear no evil, for you are with me. The shepherd doesn't leave the sheep when it gets dark. That's actually when He stays the closest. His rod and staff aren't there to hurt us. They are there to protect us and pull us back if we wander toward a cliff. Even in the presence of our enemies or our greatest stresses, He prepares a table for us. He invites us to sit down and feast on His peace while the chaos stays outside the door. Walking forward in faith. When you combine these two psalms, you get a complete picture of a life lived in faith. You have the secret place of Psalm chapter 91 where you are hidden and protected, and you have the right paths of Psalm 23 where you are guided and fed. It's a reminder that you are never walking this journey solo. No matter what the news says or how loud the world gets, you have a shepherd who is looking out for you, and a fortress that can never be shaken. As you go about your day, try to carry these images with you. When you feel stressed, remember the quiet waters. When you feel vulnerable, remember the shadow of the Almighty. These prayers are your birthright. They are open invitations to experience a kind of peace that the world just can't give. You are loved, you are watched over, and you are never, ever alone. Trust in the shepherd, stay in the fortress, and watch how your perspective begins to shift. Are there specific parts of these psalms that stand out to you more when you're going through a tough